There are a lot of you out there, if you're watching this video, who slice the golf ball. And unfortunately, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. And so what we want to talk about today is what are the truths, how can we help you do that, and give you some specific drills to really get in there and start fixing that slice. Now, if you love golf, this is the place for you. US Golf TV is the place because we are putting out great information that's helping people play better golf all the time. So let's dive right into this. First of all, let's talk about some of the misconceptions. The first one that I hear sometimes is that there's certain types of golf balls that keep you from slicing. That just is not the truth. There are certain types of golf balls that maybe travel farther down the fairway when they're hit than other ones, and some that are maybe better around the greens in terms of touch and feel. But to think that you're going to fix your slice by changing a type of golf ball is just a misconception. It isn't going to really help out. So that would be number one. Number two is let's talk about some of the equipment. Now, I do have to say this. There are certain designs in equipment, in the irons and in the driver, that can help maybe mask the slice a little bit, right? In terms of how it's designed and where they put the weighting and all these types of things. They can definitely help, but they're not going to really fix the root of the problem. And that's what we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes in terms of if you're slicing your irons or you're slicing your driver, what's the difference and how do we fix that? We're going to get to the real root of it. But I want you to understand in terms of equipment, it can help, but it's not going to fix the real issue. So just kind of be aware of that when you go into that process of getting new equipment. The third one I want to talk about before we dive into some of the actual fix here is the grip. Now that's another misconception. People think, hey, I'm slicing the golf ball, I'm just going to strengthen my grip, and immediately my slice is going to be gone forever. Here's what I'll tell you about this, because we've done extensive videos and content on a strong grip. A strong grip or strengthening your grip will certainly probably help in the short run. But once again, it's not attacking the real underlying issue of why you're slicing the golf ball. So is strengthening your grip going to fix your slice? My answer would be no. It might help in the short term, but it's certainly not in the long term. And like I said earlier, we've got some real in-depth stuff on actually some of the ugly truths about a strong grip that can keep you from having a good short game, and you want to check out some of those. So those are a couple of the misconceptions that get floated around a little bit in terms of ways that you can actually fix your slice that just aren't true. So let's talk about if you're slicing your iron versus if you're slicing your driver. What's the difference between these two types of swings? So in its most basic form, when you're hitting an iron, of course the ball is on the ground. And so when you come in contact with the ball, the club is in a descending motion. It's traveling in a downward motion. Now, believe it or not, all things being equal, this is beyond a little bit of what we want to talk about here today, but when the club is traveling in a downward motion, in a descending motion, it's actually easier to draw the golf ball. And there's a whole science behind this, and I'm not going to dive into that. We've done some extensive videos already on some of the science of the slice. Matter of fact, the Science of the Slice is a book that we wrote. We'll include it here in the description. If you want details on that, we'll include that. It's free, and we'll give it to you. But that's one thing you need to know about the irons. Versus the driver, of course, is the opposite. When you hit a well-struck driver, the club is actually traveling in an upward motion. And much like we said earlier, all things being equal, when the club starts to travel upward, okay, it makes it more difficult to draw the golf ball. So what are some drills that we can do to help you fix your slice, whether it be for an iron or for a driver, because the two are a little bit different in terms of when we actually swing the golf club. So let's talk about the irons. So this is the drill which I call the counter aim drill. Counter aim drill. And we called it that drill because we're going to aim the club face in one position, and we're going to aim our feet and our body in a different position. So as a right-handed golfer, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this. So I like to do this drill with my 6 iron, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my club face and I'm going to aim it at the target or at the flag or where I want the ball to finish. I'm going to take my feet, my hips, and my shoulders, and I'm going to actually aim those slightly to the right. Okay, so my club face is aimed at the target, my feet, my hips and my shoulders are aimed to the right of where I want the ball to finish, and then I'm just going to go ahead and hit a shot. So this club face is aimed, or it looks like to my eye that it's definitely aimed left of where my feet and my hips and my body are. And I'm going to go ahead and hit a shot. Okay, and what's going to happen is that you're going to be more prone to swing the club in the direction that you're aiming, okay, versus where the club face is at. And the difference between these two can actually help you fix the slice with your iron. So counter aim drill, club face where you want the ball to finish, feet, hips, and shoulders where you want the ball to basically start out or to the right of the target. Now let's talk a little bit about the driver, because the driver is a little bit different. Because as you know already, with the driver, we want to actually hit up on the golf balls because the ball is a little bit more forward in our stance. So we like to do a drill we call the TV drill. It's one of our most popular ones. It works wonders. I won't say it works every time, but it's probably about 98% true where it works. So this works off the butt end of the club. Okay, so what you're going to do is when you finish your swing, the butt end of the club is going to be pointed at a spot that's out and to the right of the target line for a right-handed golfer. Of course, if you're left-handed, it's going to be a little bit different. So I take my regular setup. Let me do it without a ball. So I make my back swing. And when I finish my swing, my hands are high, and the butt end of the club is pointed at a spot out here to the right of my target line. And by getting my hands up, rotating the club and having it point over there, that's going to change the angle that the club is coming into the ball. It's going to get the club face squared up and is going to help you actually draw the golf ball. So there's a lot of misconceptions out there about why people slice. It's not the golf ball, okay? Clubs can help, okay, a little bit. Your grip might help in the short term, but you've got to actually get to the root cause of it. These couple drills right here, combined with that information, is going to hopefully help you start hitting the golf ball nice and straight down the fairway.